Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me well. Welcome to Malaga, the sunniest place in Europe, although it doesn't look like that currently. I'm sorry. So, in this talk, we'll talk about 8bitcn and the power of open source and what you can basically do if you're building some side project. And thank God Steve had his talk before me, because this also looks a little bit weird, and we can say it's some kind of sci-fi interface. So to meet me better, my name is Uroš, and I'm known online as Orcdev. I'm 15 plus years in this web development thing. I worked in many programming languages, frameworks, technologies, and all the stuff. And I have my own YouTube channel, so I'm teaching all those things. So like web dev tutorials, tech news, and all those good stuff. And I'm a full stack dev, meaning I'm working both on the front end and the back end. I'm a big retro and game lover. I think you're going to know that pretty soon. And I'm sorry to disappoint, I'm not really an orc. People are always disappointed when they hear org dev. But I can ask, I don't know if Luis is here. If he calls me next year, I'll come in full armor and weapons and all that, if he agrees, of course. So let's talk about 8bitcn. So what is this talk about? We have that weird combination of new modern components plus some retro design, and everything is open source. So we'll talk about the story of 8bitcn, why I created it, how I created it, what did I use, and what it is actually. We'll talk about blending all the new, and that's that weird combination, which was not in everyday life when you're a developer. And we'll talk about the power of open source. So what can actually a side project bring you as a developer, and what can you get? What kind of attention and what are the benefits? So the story behind 8bitcn, that's our first chapter here. I started with 8bitcn this year in April, so this project is, let's say, new. So it's a fresh project, and it got really nice attention. At that time, I was working as a full-stack developer in some company, so this was completely my side project. I was not working on it whole day grinding, all day. And the most often question I get is why? Why did I create this? We can ask also Steve the same question. He had for his timer, the same thing. So why? Let's see why. Because web components, as we know them today, are looking pretty much the same. Check out here. We have all those rounded corners. We have some kind of theme, which is that neutral theme, minimalistic design, and all that stuff. And I could say, I could even say that this is kind of boring. Now, I'm glad that some speakers from yesterday are not here, Piccioneri would probably kill me, and Ale, service design, for telling that, for this statement. So, but I prepared today another slide for them, to show this dashboard. What can we do with this dashboard? What can we change in the terms of design here? It's really hard. You always have this sidebar, you have the chart, you have some data table, you have all those things for those parameters and all that stuff. So we really cannot do much here. It's not helping to create we can of course create fancy landing page with some nice colors and all that. But for this, we need to start thinking differently. So I was thinking, is this working? No. I was thinking, dramatic pause. What if we could create web components as we know them today, modern web components, to look something like this? Some old retro video game. How cool would that be? Check out this 8-bit design right here. And we see it here, Pac-Man and Super Mario. How many gamers we have here? Can I see your hands? Gamers? Oh, this is a good part of the audience. Anyone knows the top right game? Anyone played that one? No? Okay, I'm the only one here. That was my first game. It's called Supaplex, really cool game. I don't know, there is even a browser version, so you can try it out. So Oh yeah, we have also the GIF here. I need to click 2 times, I didn't know that. So what do we get when we mix modern web components as we know them today, plus the old Pac-Man? And drums, please. I asked for the drums, but no drums. So I'll ask you for one thing. Like, give me a favor. This will be, I think, interesting. I'll close my eyes, and when I change the slide, it would be great if you could say something like, or, you know, like a gasp, or like, wow, so I can feel it. Are you ready? Ready? Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Did it change? Oh, that's what. Thank you, thank you. This was really like warm in my orcish green heart. So behold, we have here 8bitcn. Look at this thing. Like, you can take pictures. Like, check this out. So we have here, this is a showcase of components that we can build with 8bitcn. This is just part of the landing page. This is tip of the iceberg. You didn't see anything yet. Like, check out that button in the top right corner. You're not seeing it good. Let me just zoom in. Zoom in. And zoom in. Yes. Check this out. Like, is this like the most beautiful thing? Thank you. Thank you. This is probably the most beautiful thing you'll see today, this week, maybe even this month. Like, check this design. This is, I love it. Like, this is, I'm really proud of this button. And there are many more components. Like, we can see here button, we can see avatars, we can see calendar, badge, we have their select box, chart, we have an input, and I mean, this is like only a part of 8bitcn library. And if you're asking if this is working in dark mode, of course it's working in dark mode. Like, it's like, check this out. I don't know, should I be quiet for 1 minute so we can all see this beauty? And of course, this was not enough. It had to be more crazy than this. Can it be more crazy than this? Of course it can. We have also themes. So imagine you come to some web application and you see something like this. Like, this is really crazy. Like, the only thing you can say when you come to some like web app and you see this like these colors, you can only say, wow. This is the Game Boy theme in dark mode, my personal favorite. We have in the top right corner Nintendo theme, and in the bottom right we have Atari theme, also dark mode. Yeah, Nintendo is the light mode. And I don't know if I told you about the button. Like, check this button in Game Boy theme. Again, dark mode Game Boy theme. Like, you can make pictures, and we also have this arcade theme button. Like, check it out. Just watch. Like, this is something that is, you don't see this every day when you come to some web app today. And in 8bitcn, there are, how do I play this video? There are 12 different themes currently that you can change and that are working like without any problem inside of 8bitcn, inside of your project with all the 8bitcn components. Let me play this one again. So all themes are strictly retro themes, and they're really looking awesome. So the answer, why did I create this? Because it is cool, and why not? Like, I had an opportunity to create a login form like this, like same like Brad Pitt from Troy. The immortality was mine to take. So imagine like you come to some web app and you log in and you have this login form. Like, and you remember it. Like, you will definitely remember this form, and you will return back and you will say like, hey, this is that app with that cool retro 8-bit form. And the second most often question I get is, why open source that thing? So people are a little bit closed for open sourcing their projects, and that is a good subject that we'll talk about today. Why to open source your project? For me, it was easy. For me, I had my community. I have my own YouTube channel, so I'm sharing everything that I do. All of my projects are open code, open source, and I think that open source is the best thing that one developer can do for himself, for his CV, for his portfolio, because when people see that you have some projects that are really good, it doesn't have to be like big number of stars or something like that. It just needs to be something interesting. When they see it, you definitely have a better chance to be called on an interview or to get a job, like, in the end. And also one more thing is, because of that transparency with the project, you are getting recognized much better online, which could be seen for the 8bitcn project. So here you maybe recognize some of these names. These are tweets from real persons. So on the top left, maybe you know Francois, creator of Nux. He's talking on a lot of European conferences. He's a good friend of mine. But the one that I'm most proud of, it's on the bottom right, and that's the creator of ShadCN himself telling, all right, this looks fire, going to test it now. And that really motivated me, I have to say. That was the moment when I started grinding even more. So that's the moment when I had maybe half of components that are now currently in 8bitcn. And now, telling about ShadCN, it's really good timing to go a little bit technical. Blending old and new. This is our second chapter. And this was a weird mission to somehow have modern web components and to, in the same time, to have like retro 8-bit design. So first thing I saw, you maybe know some of these. It was nest.css framework, and it kind of was similar, like I wanted, but it had only like these are just some of the components from CSS nest.css framework, but it wasn't accessible. It wasn't working light and dark mode. It was pretty much hard coded. If you have these buttons, like you can put these buttons and that's it. I wanted to create like something much more flexible and accessible, and in the end, I didn't want nest.css inside of my framework. So in that moment, I was using ShadCN a lot. I don't know how many of you here know about ShadCN. Let me see your hands. Oh, a good number. Okay, nice. So let's tell quickly a definition. What is actually ShadCN? We're not going to go like who is ShadCN. That is a mystery. But what is ShadCN? We can tell that. First, let's say what ShadCN is not. So ShadCN is not a UI component library. ShadCN is a code distribution platform. And what does that mean? That means that it has its own registry. Here we can see I added this one. This is actually from yesterday. It got 100K stars yesterday. I even forgot I added this slide. I thought that's big news for ShadCN fans. So it has its own registry, and we can add some components simply by putting one CLI command. Like here we can see pm dlx ShadCN add latest, and we are owning that component. So we are copy and pasting the component button from the registry of ShadCN, and it is totally flexible. Like we can do with it whatever we want. We can change the size, we have a bunch of variants, we can change the color, we can do whatever we like with that ShadCN button. So I wanted the same thing. I wanted to add the 8-bit button with one command. Same thing like ShadCN. So now 8bitcn is a part of ShadCN trusted registry, meaning there is the @8bitcn/button, like you can see it here, and it is possible to add all the 8bitcn components, same thing like ShadCN. So I ended up copying basically all the components from ShadCN to 8bitcn, and here you can see like why is it called 8bitcn, because it's like the copy of ShadCN but with 8-bit style. And it was like, you can see here, work. I had a big list of like GitHub issues of all the components that exist in ShedCN, and me and some contributors, we were creating all those components inside of 8bitcn. So in like 2-3 weeks, we finished the entire thing. And by the way, the entire library is working for all modern React frameworks like 10-stack start, Next.js, etc. So those are React components that you can just add with your CLI command. And when we finished that one, it was like, what now? What could we do now? And I started creating gaming blocks. Because of the 8-bit design, the most logical step was to make 8bitcn to be a go-to UI component library for making browser video games. And I really love how this one looks. Like you can see, I don't know if I told you about the buttons in the select difficulty and all that good stuff. So I created a video game with 8bitcn. And here we can see my textual games project. And funny enough, this project won the hackathon at Vercel. It won the 3rd place. And like, we can now talk about the project and everything, but the most important thing is that I think, I cannot prove it, of course, but I think that this project won that hackathon because of the unique design, of the unique components. So I created this whole landing page. There are also some things below. It's not only this, but I created this one like in 5 minutes using 8bitcn because I had all the components. I could just like copy and paste them with CLI commands. And you can create a UI like this, basically with your AI agent with one prompt telling I need this, and it just takes everything like from the MCP of 8bitcn, and it creates a UI like this, or something like this. This is the edit profile in the game, and everything is pretty easy to create. So, story blending old and new, that was pretty much a success. 8bitcn is a modern web component library. You can like add all the components with CLI commands. All the components are accessible. They're working light and dark mode. They have a bunch of themes. You can also create custom themes. It doesn't have to be like all those retro themes. You can choose any ShedCN theme or anything, and it just works. Like that was definitely a success. So we come to our 3rd act, chapter, or whatever, and that's the power of open source. So what can actually a side project that you are building bring you as a developer, as one single person, small person, to say it like that, because I was small in that moment with my project, and it was only me using that thing. So, first of all, 8bitcn had 26 different contributors, and this was like, when I created this video, it was 22, and then I had to do it again yesterday because there were more contributors. And on the bottom, we can see ShedCN creator himself. Now, that was again like a big thing for me, and that motivated me even further again to grind, to do like all the stuff that I was doing until then. And it's like, I was thinking, if I get recognized by ShedCN creator himself, maybe I could get recognized by some other people. So I applied to the Vercel Open Source Program. And I got it, like from the first try. I couldn't believe it. Now, to get recognized by a big company like that, you all know about Vercel? Let me see your hands. Vercel. Yes, big number. Okay, so to be recognized by, like, they're like really big in open sourcing, and they have that program for open source developers, and it is not something like too big. I'm getting $3,600 in Vercel credits, meaning hosting for life for 8bitcn, and OSS starter pack, which is just like some cap and teacup and things like that. But the most important thing is community support from Vercel, which really helped 8bitcn to get some big numbers. So we can see this one. I made this screenshot yesterday that in the last 30 days, 8bitcn had more than 20,000 visitors, and that's really a big number. We can even see here that there are 5 visitors online currently in the moment when I screenshotted this, so that's really amazing. There is over 1,150 stars, and it's still rising. People really love retro and that all 8-bit style. So, what can open source actually bring to developers, and why should you create open source side projects to showcase it to the world? First thing, a strong highlight on your CV. So that is definitely something that is making a difference between developers, like when you have some open source project. It doesn't mean that you need contribution graph, 5,000 plus commits. Just something that is noticeable on your GitHub page. Then, second thing is something cool to build and share. Let's say again, Steve Timer and 8bitcn and things like that. It's not really, let's say, usable in a like ShedCN, but it is fun. It is cool, and it is cool to show people your button and things like that. Then we have sponsorships. Actually, that one is pretty fresh for me. 1 week ago, for the first time, I created a sponsorship page on 8bitcn. And I was really surprised. I got over, I think, 11 sponsors for now. And that's a good amount of money to get from some side project that is coming monthly for you. It's around, let's say, 350 euros, something like that monthly for me, only from a side project, which is really cool. Then we have global community. 26 contributors from different countries. I was talking to all of them. I made some good friendships. That's the next point. I'm talking to ShedCN creator himself. I'm chatting with him on Twitter, and I still don't believe that that's happening, especially because he's a mystery person and we don't know his real name and things like that. But that's some other story. And maybe, of course, a great story or talk to tell. I wouldn't be here if I didn't create my 8bitcn project. So, future plans for 8bitcn. There are plenty. I just need time and definitely more gaming components. I think that 8bitcn should be a go-to library if you want to create some kind of game. I want to be able to recreate every single 80s, 90s game with 8bitcn, just to be able to go and copy-paste some old mud games and things like that. I think that would be really cool. And also, whole page layouts with one CLI command, that would be also nice. Imagine you can create a whole portfolio page with one CLI command. You just put it, change the content, and you have your developer portfolio on the 8-bit page. I think that would be really amazing. And if you want to contribute, any of you, you are more than welcome. You can go, you can even write GitHub issues, feature requests. You can do them if you want. You can do whatever you like. This is a pretty cool project. I think it's really interesting to work with something like this. I always wanted to create some video games, and I don't know how, but I'm in web development. So this is basically the only way I could create something like that. So you can go to the contributors page, and you can check the contributing guide and view everything on GitHub. And for the end of this talk, if you need any help from me, I'm here for you. If you want to connect later, if you have any questions, I'm really open. I'm not really an orc. I don't have an axe this time, maybe next year. So thank you.